What if I told you there was a man rejected before he was born, cursed before he made a choice, not by people, but by God himself? Jacob I loved, Esau I hated. These are not the words of a prophet. They are the words of the Almighty, repeated in Malachi and quoted again in Romans. But what did Esau really do? Was he evil? Was he godless? Or was he simply not chosen? This is not just the story of a man, it's the story of rejection, of destiny, of a divine chessboard where blessing and banishment walk hand in hand. This is the story of Esau, the firstborn son who lost everything, but still found grace. Before they spoke, before they sinned, before they even opened their eyes, the battle had already begun. Two brothers in one womb. Genesis 25 tells us that Rebekah, their mother, felt something strange during her pregnancy. A war inside her belly. She prayed, she cried out to God, and the Lord answered. Genesis 25 verse 23 reads, "Two nations are in your womb. Two people shall be separated from your body. One people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." From ancient prophecies to hidden mysteries, from the battles of angels to the whispers of wisdom, every story in the Bible holds a deeper truth. If you love powerful Bible stories, deep revelations, and mind-blowing mysteries, then you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a revelation. And if you're new here, drop a message in the comments so we can welcome you to the community. It wasn't just twins, it was a prophecy. And from that moment, Esau was already on the losing end. The older, destined to serve the younger. In the ancient world, this was a reversal of everything sacred. The firstborn son held the birthright, the double portion, the spiritual legacy, the future of the family. But in this divine plot twist, the second son would rise, and the first would fall. Esau was born first. Red, hairy, strong. He became a skilled hunter, a man of the wild. Jacob followed, smooth-skinned, quiet, a man of tents, a thinker, a plotter. Isaac, their father, loved Esau. He loved the wild meat, the masculinity, the boldness. Rebekah loved Jacob. She saw something else, a promise, a plan. And so, from birth, the two brothers were pulled in opposite directions, not just by destiny, but by their own parents. Esau, the outdoorsman, was never taught to build an altar. He knew how to track animals, but not how to track God. Jacob, the homebody, learned silence, schemes, and the spiritual legacy passed down from Abraham and Isaac. One was prepared for covenant. The other was only prepared for survival. One day, Esau came in from the fields, tired, hungry, desperate. And there was Jacob, stirring a pot of red lentil stew. Esau said, "Feed me." "I'm starving." Jacob, always thinking 2 moves ahead, replied, "Sell me your birthright." Esau laughed. "What good is a birthright if I die of hunger?" So he swore an oath. He sold the birthright for a bowl of soup. One moment, one careless word, one terrible deal. And in that moment, Esau lost what he didn't understand. Some say he was foolish. The book of Hebrews 12 calls him godless, a profane man who for one morsel of food sold his birthright. But the deeper question is this: why didn't he know its value? Who failed to teach him? Jacob knew the power of covenant, so much that when he fled home later, he built an altar and promised God 1/10 of all he had. That means someone taught him about tithing, sacrifice, and covenant. But who taught Esau? No altar, no tithe, no guidance. Was Esau truly evil, or was he just forgotten? Years passed. Isaac grew old, blind, and ready to bless his heir? He called for Esau. "Bring me wild game," he said, "that I may eat and bless you before I die." But Rebekah heard, and she moved quickly. She dressed Jacob in Esau's clothes, covered his arms with goatskin, and sent him in with a dish. Isaac, half suspicious, still gave the blessing to the wrong son. Hold on a second. This is getting deep, right? But before we continue, let me ask you something. If this is blessing you, blowing your mind, or making you see Scripture in a new light, then let me know. Hit that like button so I know to create more videos like this. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next revelation. Alright, now let's get back to it, because what happens next is truly shocking. When Esau returned, the room cracked with pain. "Your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing." Esau cried out, "Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me. Me also, O my father." Isaac's response was chilling. Genesis 27 verse 40 reads, "By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But it shall come to pass when you become restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck." Not a curse, but not a future Esau wanted. Jacob fled. Rebekah urged him to leave, afraid that Esau would kill him. But before he left, Isaac called him again, not to rebuke him, but to bless him. And then Isaac said, "You shall not take a wife from among the daughters of Canaan." And Jacob obeyed. But Esau overheard this. He had already married Canaanite women, and it displeased his parents. So Esau tried to change. He married from Ishmael's line, hoping perhaps to win back approval, to fit into the covenant, to be seen. But no one told him to do it. He taught himself. Esau wasn't evil. He was untrained, unmentored, unloved in the ways that mattered. He wasn't chosen, and he knew it. Jacob fled to his uncle Laban. He worked 7 years for Rachel, was tricked into marrying Leah, then worked 7 more. He built a family, wealth, and a legacy. But Esau, he became a nation. Edom. He took wives, had children, built cities, armies. Though he was rejected from the spiritual covenant, he thrived materially. God did not curse him. In fact, later in Deuteronomy, God told Israel in Deuteronomy 23 verse 7, "Do not despise an Edomite, for he is your brother." Esau was still loved, though in a different way. After 20 years, Jacob returns. He fears Esau will kill him, so he sends gifts, flocks, and prayers ahead. But what does Esau do? He runs to Jacob. He embraces him. He weeps. There is no anger, no revenge, only reconciliation. This is the same man we were told was hated, but now he shows more grace than most of us would. He had every right to destroy Jacob, but he forgave him instead. In that moment, Esau looked more like Jesus than Jacob did, but we can't ignore the text. The prophet Malachi, centuries later, said in Malachi 1 verses 2 and 3, "Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated." And the apostle Paul in Romans 9 quoted it to make a point. Before they were born or had done anything good or bad, not by works, but by him who calls. Romans 9 verse 15 reads, "I will have mercy on whom I have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I have compassion." This wasn't personal hate as we know it. It was sovereign selection. God chose Jacob, not because he was better, but because the lineage of Christ, the promise to Abraham, had to continue through a specific line. Esau wasn't cursed, he was simply not the vessel. We love stories where good is rewarded and bad is punished, but Esau's story challenges that. He wasn't a monster, he was a man, a brother, a fighter, a father, a forgiver. He was not chosen for the covenant, but he still became a nation. He was rejected for the Messiah's bloodline, but not for existence or success. Esau shows us that God can reject someone from one purpose and still bless them for another. And Jacob? He lied, deceived, fled, and was still chosen. The difference? Covenant. God demands more from the ones he draws close. Luke 12, verse 48 reads, "To whom much is given, much is required." Esau's story is not one of divine cruelty. It's a mirror, a warning, a mystery, and a mercy. Yes, God loved Jacob. Yes, God hated Esau, meaning he chose another path. But Esau still thrived. He still forgave. He still fought for blessing. He still built a legacy. In a world that craves being chosen, sometimes the greater miracle is how God blesses those who aren't. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And that's it for today's journey through Scripture. But the story doesn't end here. If this video got you thinking, smash that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive deeper together. And don't forget, more powerful Bible stories and hidden truths are waiting for you on the channel. Click on one of these videos to continue your journey. Until next time, stay blessed, stay curious.